All right. So it's my pleasure to introduce you to Pallavi. Pallavi, who's the mentor and coach for today. Pallavi has got immense amount of total work experience. I think more than 15 years odd. She has worked in varied roles as a product manager, project manager, pre-sales team, marketing team for solutions on test automation tools. By the way, she holds two provisional patents along with other contributors for her work on building tool agnostic test automation framework solutions. She is a solopreneur at Five Elements Learning, where she collaborates and works with test automation enthusiasts all across the globe. She is a firm believer in larger good and like to live by example. Definitely true. She volunteers her time for organizations like eVidya Lok, and she is also a lifetime member of Jabbar Khet Forest Reserve and People for Animals. She is a licensed trainer for us for various programs, and she is also driving our Delhi NCR chapter, and she is a jury member for GTR, and she is a jury member for our Locator Challenge, which is basically live as of now. With that, Pallavi, we would like to welcome you and take us through this open house number two. All yours.
Okay. Thank you so much, Aditya, for this generous introduction. And it's my pleasure and my good fate that I'm associated with this esteemed organization, Agile Testing Alliance. And also thanks to you, Aditya, for always being generous and providing me a lot of opportunities to explore and learn at the same time. So, welcome everyone. Today in the Selenium Open House 2 CP we are going to talk about the powerhouse Selenium tool itself is and the beauty of it being a technology agnostic tool. Before we delve more into the discussion of our current topic, I would like to give you a brief introduction about what agile testing is all about and a brief overview of the organization. So you can find our global URL at www.agiletestingalliance.org. And we have our presence across 24 countries, from USA to Peru to Mexico to India. We are almost everywhere. Our target is to reach every possible country in the world. We have more than 10,000 people certified in the last 3 years, and we are the fastest growing agile testing body in the world. We are the only organization which provides test assessments both on um, MCQs and your practical aspects. About the CPSAT program, the CPSAT program, that's your Certified Professional Selenium Testing program, it is accepted globally for more than 5 years now. It is one of the oldest and the best certification program in Selenium. It is the only program in Selenium to have an actual practical assessment. So we don't just give you code and ask you to find out whether this code works or not. We are asking you to write the code as well, because that's how you figure out that you know Selenium. You have to actually sit and code. So there are two assessments, the theory part and the practical part. And we are the only organization doing that. Also, we have our CPSAT certification, and we are aiming, and we already have technology agnostic assessments. So you can either choose Java, Python, or C Sharp, your language of interest. Other two languages like Ruby and JavaScript are going to get added on very soon. And our approach is practical problem driven approach, and we do a problem driven assessment. Our assessments are remotely based, and anyone who already knows Seleniums can get themselves certified. So if you think you know Selenium, let us know as well and take our certification. It's accepted by all the major IT organizations and MNCs. And as said, it is driven by the ATA, Agile Testing Alliance, which is a global body, and it is present across 24 countries. So let us start for the topic for today. What we would be doing is we would be discussing this topic, and at the end of the topic, okay, we would be taking up the questions. So it would be my kind request for all of you to hold on your questions. You can note them down as and when you come across. And as the session come towards the end, we will have around 15-20 minutes for just the discussion part, and I will try my best to answer all your questions to the best of my abilities. So, with that, let's start with today's topic. So, as I was discussing, and I was telling you guys that Selenium in such is a technology agnostic tool. The power of Selenium lies in the aspect that the first thing which someone wants to drive a browser, or they would want to automate the browser actions, the very first tool which comes into their mind is Selenium. And the reason for its popularity and its what should I say, its adaptability lies in the aspect of it being a technology agnostic tool, which effectively means that Selenium works with any programming language, it works on any operating system, and it works and automates any browser, whichever is W3C compliance and have the WebDriver bindings available. By the way, to add on to it, I hope you all know that for a browser to be accepted as W3 compliance, it has to be compatible with Selenium and it should allow automation with Selenium as well. And now the owners to provide the WebDriver bindings for the browsers fall back on the organizations which are releasing these browsers to the world out there. So Selenium was created by Jason R. Huggins and his team, and finally and eventually it got married to WebDriver, which was created by Simon Stewart, and now what we know it as Selenium WebDriver. As mentioned, it being technology and agnostic, where it allows you programming using Java, C Sharp, Python, Ruby, or JavaScript, any of those languages on any of the operating system and automates any browser. Currently, there is no such competition which currently exists in market for Selenium as such. So, what is that we are going to look at today? So, there has been a lot of discussions on a concept of automation being picked, where we speak about small challenges like how do you handle a dynamic element, how do you work with data driven, how what is page object model and all that stuff. So there is a lot of discussion which goes upon on framework building, lot of discussion which goes upon how do you handle data objects, how do you come across the different challenges the web application scenarios throw at you. So a lot of discussion content etc is already available out there. So I wanted to take you guys to a different perspective, and the perspective which I would like you all to visualize in here is that it really doesn't matter whether you know Selenium using any of the programming languages. The idea is you should know Selenium. And how does that we achieve it? We achieve it by understanding that irrespective of the syntax of the programming language associated with working with the tool Selenium, the concept is same across all languages, and that is what we have to imbibe. And once you have imbibed that, once you have understood that, you pick Selenium with Python or with Ruby. You know it. You just know it. So the idea is to become language agnostic. The idea is to understand the beauty of Selenium, that it is actually technology agnostic. So to show you guys that, what we would be doing is we are basically picking. So let me just open my notepad in case I would want to write for you guys as well. So we are going to take a login logout scenario from one of the web application. The idea is not to complicate the scenario. The idea is to show you guys the technology agnostic power of Selenium. So the login logout scenario is pretty simple, like in any e-commerce website. I'll just show you. And then we move on to understanding how we design the same test using different programming language. We see a working demo of them, and we talk about the different details which have to be into your scripts irrespective of your programming language, and there you have your automation script ready with Selenium. So that's the idea. So let me show you all. So this is our web application. It has got very basic flows. The first thing we will have to do is you click on the My Account link and you go to this new customer. Here you fill in all the mandatory details, but do not provide an email address which is working. A dummy email ID is fair enough because it is not going to send you any verification link to verify your email address. Once you have registered, okay, to log into your application by clicking on the sign in button, you can see that there is a text validation which can occur, that you can verify my account information. You can verify the presence of log off link. You click on log off and you click on continue and you are back to your main page. So the flow which we have taken is open the URL of the application, go to the My Account page. Then the business action is to perform login. So to perform login, you have to basically type your username, type your password, click on the sign in button. Then you are validating your action. We can validate our action by ensuring whether a particular text is available on the page or an object is available on the page. Then the last action is of our log off, which contains two steps, clicking on the log off link and clicking on the continue. So these are our steps, okay? Plain and simple script. Now, if I have to design this particular script in any of the languages, what is that we should have available with us? We should have available with us the Selenium driver bindings in the chosen language. And from where do you get that? So we go to the main homepage of Selenium, selenium.dev. You go to the download section. Here, if we scroll down, you see Selenium client and WebDriver language bindings. So whether you want to pick Ruby or Java or Python or JavaScript or C Sharp, you have the respective stable versions available along with the language bindings which you can download for that particular language. Okay. So this is where you go and do it. Then you have to have associated or have available with us or knowledge of the unit test framework. The word X in here gets replaced by different letters and naming convention depending upon the language we have chosen. So your unit test framework, which is associated with that language. For example, in Java, we can have JUnit or TestNG. For JavaScript, you have a lot of other unit test frameworks available or as assertion frameworks available. So you have JUnit or TestNG, you have Mocha, Jest, etc. For JavaScript, NUnit for your C Sharp, PyUnit for Python, and TestUnit for Ruby. So depending upon the programming language you have chosen, you have to associate a unit test framework with your coding language, okay? So that you are able to validate the actions which you have just performed. The object information remains the same. Please understand that the locators which you have created for the objects on your page do not change with your programming language. The syntax to find that object on the page may change from Java to Ruby to JavaScript to Python, but your locator information remains the same. That is not going to change. Your data information which your application accepts to run your test is going to remain the same. And in case you want to integrate it with your BDD or your reporting tools, again, that would depend largely on the programming language you have chosen to automate the process of your testing using Selenium as a tool. The three main components when we are designing a Selenium test, the three basic pillars which we all should be very clear with. Depending upon your language bindings, you can go to the documentation library of those language bindings. And the very first thing you should make yourself familiar with is what is WebDriver, what is Web Element, and what is BY. The web driver effectively is an interface which represents the browser, and it provides you various methods to automate your browser action. For example, open, navigate, quit, close, pretty basic. Then find elements, uh, get element by tag and text, which would come in your web element as well, and so on and so forth. The next is your web element. It effectively is representing your HTML element on the web page, and it is going to provide us various actions to work on them. So you have an HTML element. If it is a text box, you would like to either clear it or you want to do a send keys on it. If it's a link, uh, a link in a button or an image, you would like to click on it. If it's a checkbox or a radio button, if you want to verify some text on it, if you want to find out the size of the object, etc. All these functions are available within your web element entity of your Selenium language bindings. And the third is our by. The by class effectively helps you to find out the actual element of interest by using the different locator strategies. ID, name, XPath, CSS, class name, etc., link text, document object model approach where you use indexes, etc. So it is your by class which helps you create these locator objects so that you are able to identify the object uniquely on the web page. Now, WebDriver, WebElement, and by, they do not change with your language bindings. These three entities are same, exactly the same across all Selenium language bindings, but the syntax associated with formation of the command will change because Java is different than Ruby. Ruby is pretty much different than Python, and then you always have a JavaScript. Okay, so we have to be careful from that end, but understand this part is constant. It is not gonna change. Having said that, we will now be showcasing you by picking up 5 different languages. So I have chosen Java, I have chosen C Sharp, Python, Ruby, and JavaScript to show you guys the same scenario of log in, log out, but we are going to automate it in different programming languages using different interfaces, their own unit test frameworks, and let's see how do we come across it. Okay. So before I delve into it, let me write down the steps for my log in log out scenario so that we are all on the same page, because with respect to it, our script will be formed. So we open the application using the URL. We click on the My Account link. We type username. We type the password. We should have already registered here. Okay. We click on the sign in button. We click on the log off link and we click on the continue. Now, to understand in here the object locator information, remember, whenever you encounter a link, you always use link text to identify that object. So link text in here, which is my account, the text which is displayed. Username and password, if we look in here, the username and password have got very strong identifiers, ID and name. So if we have it, we better use it. Okay, so here you have email address as the name. Here you have password as a name. And for this object, the sign in button, it has got an ID property TDB5. So these would be my locator strategies. And this locator information will not change even though my programming language change, because it's above it. Now again, clicking on the log off, it's a link. So we use link text to identify it. Similarly for the continue. So this is how my information looks like. Now this type and type will also be taking data, which is my username. And in here is my password. I should have making it using an Excel sheet, but sometimes I just like linear typing. Okay. So this is how we look at our basic scenario. Please understand, I have not added any validation step in here. I have not put any validation in here. So this is just a test step. If I put validation, I make it as a test case. To put validation in here, I can validate, verify my account information, text on screen. You can do another verification, verify, log off, link on screen, because only if you have logged in, you should be able to see the log off link. Now this has become my test case because I have added two validation steps. Previously, it was just test steps. Now this is my test case. Let us first pick Java as a language in which Selenium is most popularly and widely used. If we are going to pick Java, for Java, Ruby, Python, and JavaScript, I have used Eclipse as an IDE. Eclipse IDE is a very, very strong IDE, and I would really love to see people using Eclipse IDE instead of PyDev, or even for Ruby, you can use Eclipse. Even for Java, you have to use Eclipse. So it's a very, very strong IDE. And it then reduces the burden on your end user, which is your SDET engineer or your automation expert or your tester, to basically get familiar with your different IDEs, work with them. So Eclipse is by default we are going to use for Java, Ruby, Python, and JavaScript. So for Java, what do? You create a new Java project in your Eclipse. You add your Selenium libraries so that when you write down the command import org.openqa.selenium, it recognizes. And the unit test framework we are going to use is JUnit in here. So this is my Eclipse interface. In here, I've created these multiple projects, Java, JavaScript, Python, and Ruby. For C Sharp, I will move on to Visual Studio. In here, inside the JavaScript, I have ensured I have added my reference libraries, which I would be requiring. It could have been a Maven project. Instead of JUnit, we could have used TestNG. Now here is my login logout script. We import the packages which we require. We let know which unit test framework we need. These three statements you will see across any programming language. You first have to import the package. You say import, you say require, you say use, syntax difference. But that's what you are doing. You are importing the packages which you need so that whatever script you have written, your tool understands and is able to find out the commands and execute your script properly. In any unit test framework, broadly classifying, there are always going to be your three steps. Setup, also known as before, actual test, and this is where ideally you do any validations, and tear down. also known as after. So any unit test frameworks, whichever we see, is going to have these three major steps. In the setup, you initialize the WebDriver object. In your test, you perform your actual steps to automate the scenario at hand, and then you validate it as well. In your tear down, you provide a cleanup of your environment, which means you are basically closing the browser, you are closing any database connections, you are closing your any Excel files which you have called, etc. So this is what generally happens in any unit test framework we have used. So we initialize the driver object. Inside the before, we set the path to our Chrome driver. Now remember, to ensure our Chrome driver gets automated, we have to download the latest Chrome driver available with Selenium. That's important. So you go to the browser section in here, you look at the different Chrome drivers available. Depending upon the version of your browser, you should have that particular Chrome driver available with you. My Chrome browser version is this, so I have downloaded this Chrome driver so that when I run the test, the Selenium is able to talk to the browser through this WebDriver interface commands. Inside this folder driver, I have kept my Chrome driver.exe. After initializing the Chrome driver object, driver.get is a command associated with your WebDriver. It is going to launch your application on the Chrome browser. This is how we create an instance. The next steps are effectively your actual test steps. You want to verify, you want to click on my account link, you want to type in your email address. So find element using by link text name ID, again link text, we are able to perform action on it. And then in the after scenario, we say driver.close or driver.quit to close the browser. So as I put it into execution, as everything is working fine, it will go ahead, evaluate it and run my action. Now, to put assertions, I can use the JUnit assert API and put my assertions assert pass, assert fail to basically pass or fail this test case. In here, I can put an if command, if driver dot, you know, page source dot contains my account information. Only if it contains that means you are going to pass the scenario. Otherwise, your scenario is fail. Now, if I would have added a JUnit assert API, I would have said in here assert.fair and in here assert.true. Or in a better manner, I could have used the assertion API. So it says logged in. Pretty simple. The same scenario if I run with Python. Let's see. Again, inside my this project, I have my driver folder created, the same Chrome driver.exe. It has not changed. It doesn't change with your language. And this is my code. Extension is .py, which is your Python. The unit test framework used is unit test. And look at this command from Selenium import WebDriver, because we need the package libraries available to us so that we know that if we come across a code like driver.findElement, where and how to look for. The setup method, unit test framework, test login, and your tear down method. In here, we have initialized again which driver we want to use, browser, where it is it driver bindings. Here again, if you look at the same set of commands, get, but the syntax in here has changed. Okay, depending upon the language we are using. But the locator information has not changed. The actions which we are performing on these objects are not changed. Syntax may have changed. The send keys in here doesn't look similar to the send keys there. That's all. The same validation we did, if the driver.pageSource.find my account information, .find because that's what Python understands for strings, else we say assertion fail. If I run this program, this particular test is executed using Python, okay, and using PyUnit. So we say valid user credentials. If I give a bad user credential in here, let's say I pass password as junk and I run it, it got failed. We saw failure and we said that assertion has failed, true is not false. So this is with your Python. I hope you all are able to start looking at the familiarities from the conceptual knowledge of Selenium and unit test frameworks and understanding that the locator information is same, the data is same. Now let us have a look at the same test but with Ruby this time. Now Ruby, I wish it received its due. It's actually known as a tester's language. I really recommend anyone and everyone who is wanting to, get introduced to the world of programming, start with Ruby. It's known as a tester's language and it's very, very easy to learn Ruby. Rather, there are so many tutorials available out there which says learn Ruby in 20 minutes and that's exactly the amount of time is required to learn Ruby. Selenium WebDriver is a gem in Ruby. For example, Selenium WebDriver were a set of jars in Java. Selenium WebDriver in respect to Ruby is a gem. With respect to Python, it was a Python module. So we install this Ruby gem and we say we would like a test unit framework to be used. We say class example test. This is inheritance. Inheriting this example test is inheriting from the test unit test case, which is a by default class available. The setup method, you initialize your Chrome driver, where your path is, where to be found Chrome driver.exe. Then your login, validating your login. Same, right? Find element. The syntax has changed slightly, rather quite a bit. Driver.find underscore element and in brackets you'd say key value, link my account, name this, name ID DDB5, and then you are performing the actions and passing your data. So this is your script in Ruby doing exactly the same what was your Python and Java doing. And here Your test runs again on the Chrome browser, but this time we are using Ruby as a language. Start seeing the familiarities and start seeing the familiar patterns. Package information, unit test framework information. Setup, test, tear down. Before, test, after. Validations. Now, let us have a look with the JavaScript. In JavaScript, you can use Mocha, you can use Jest, you can have so many other types of frameworks available out there. This is a script. I'll be honest, it took me some while to make this JavaScript example because JavaScript as a language is still not my forte. I am still trying to learn the nitty-gritties of this extremely complicated but an extremely powerful language which JavaScript is. Rather, if you would start having a look at the different test automation tools which have suddenly become available out there in the market, whether it is WebDriver IO or Puppeteer or your Cypress, and Sahi was anyways always there, which is using the power of JavaScript to basically drive your browser. Sahi, Puppeteer, WebDriver IO, Cypress, they all are using JavaScripts. But they are not direct competition to Selenium because of a very simple fact that for Selenium, you can use any language to write your code on, and JavaScript is also one of them. So if you really want to compare Selenium JavaScript with the rest of the tools which are JavaScript language based. That would be a good, uh, you know, comparison out there. So in here, we create these constants where we say that we require WebDriver. Now you have to install npm, node, yarn, etc. to get your system working. So it becomes a bit difficult with respect to Selenium. With different tools like Sahi or your Cypress, a lot of this is hidden from the end user. This is my Chrome path. Here we are writing down an asynchronous function. Don't look at here to get confused. Don't look at this. Look at this command. Driver.get, driver.find element, by.links text. It's almost the same syntax even as your Java was. This is Java, this is JavaScript. Same syntax, no change. Once you have verified, I've just put a verification on title in here. To run this, I'll be using Node. Okay, one of the demos never work. That's how life is. But nevertheless, let me try again. Trust me, it was working before. Okay, so I will be fixing it. Meanwhile, you guys would be asking me questions. I will not want to waste time. So I'll be fixing this up to show you guys, but let's move on to the Visual Studio aspect meanwhile. So let us move on to the Visual Studio, which is our Java with C Sharp. Sorry, Selenium with C Sharp. Now in here, uh, in JavaScript, your Selenium WebDriver, your Chrome driver, these are known as packages which you install using your npm or using your yarn. In Ruby, these are the gems. In Java, these are the jars. In C Sharp, they are your nugget packages, NuGet. So once your project is created, right click, you say you want to manage nugget packages. Here, you can go ahead and browse the package which you are searching for and ensure that it is installed and updated to the latest version. So that's how you do it in your C# language. The framework which we are using is our unit test framework. Again, if you pay attention, here in the login logon test, unit test framework, you say a text fixture. You define your information class. This is your setup method. This is your actual test steps. Locator information remains the same. Actions remain the same. Data remains the same. You're asserting your actions. Before I show you this, I will just show you the simpler version of it. Here, after we have clicked on the sign in button, we are simply using the if condition to verify whether the log off link is present or not by using the method displayed. And we run the test. To run your NUnit test, it will open a test explorer. There you will see your test and then you can execute it. So our test is executed. Okay. Here is our login logout test, which we can execute. This is using the test explorer part of your NUnit engine. Pass or fail, with some reasons it has failed. We can look at it. Some invalid operation. The browser binary which it is looking at, it is not available. So that means the Chrome driver associated in here is not working for this particular scenario. So we can validate and check it and modify it accordingly. But this is how your unit test, the test explorer for your Microsoft Visual Studio, where you would be using C# as a language, would be looked at. So here I have to ensure that the Selenium Chrome driver is updated for all the projects and all the solutions, all the projects inside this main solution. If it is updated, it will work for everything. For some updates are missing, we can fix it up later. So we saw a demo of how using different programming languages, keeping our conceptual information same, ensuring WebDriver was for browser actions, WebElement were for HTML elements, BY were for locators, unit test framework in place, packages installed, Chrome driver available. You could have chosen Gecko driver as well for Firefox or Internet Explorer. All these components in place, irrespective of the programming language, the test can be created and be executed. It's only the syntax of your programming language which is going to change and how your unit test framework is structured in that language. Rest all doesn't change us that much. It remains same. The conceptual information remains same. And if that is what you have understood, you will rise above the programming language nitty-gritties and understand the beautiful technology agnostic tool this Selenium is. So this is how we conclude. We have to understand Selenium working at conceptual level. We have to understand that the power of Selenium has to be understood irrespective of the underlying programming language, and we should not get just lost in the syntaxes of it. And we need to concentrate and should not forget the very basics and the conceptual information of testing and your automation. That remains true whether you learn Selenium using Python or C Sharp or Ruby or JavaScript. That is not going to change. So with that, I would like to open the session for question and answers. Please go ahead. Let me know your thoughts on this topic, your questions, and I would try my best to answer them.
Guys, any questions? Pallavi, it was wonderful. Before somebody else asks, can I ask one quick question?
Yeah.
So Pallavi, we have seen that it is so many technologies that you're able to do now between Ruby, JavaScript, C Sharp, Java, and Python. Most of us we get confused, like which is the one we should actually go for. Is there some preference that you have, or what exactly should be the reason for somebody to pick up any language?
Ideally, the reason is depending upon the organization. Okay. Why an organization picks up implementation of Selenium using a particular language is because they have the resources for them, as in resources, they have people trained in that language. But is that the only criteria? Should we think about can we train our testers in Ruby, which is a much more easier, beautiful language to use Selenium? And let the code be there in Java. Let your development team be in Java. So Selenium with Java became so popular because Java as a language was so popular. And the initial bindings which made were available were in Selenium and Java. But nevertheless, there are other powerful language and easier languages available out there which support Selenium, and it's a great idea to know them. Your object oriented programming concepts, again, irrespective of the language, should be clear. Once you know them, pick any.
Okay, all right. So I don't know whether somebody else has a question. Guys, you have any questions, or if not, then I have two few more, and I'll keep on asking if nobody's asking. Pallavi, would that be okay?
Sure, sure, why not?
Guys, any
I'm
questions?
sorry about JavaScript not working. I don't want to hamper anything. I would answer your questions, and meanwhile, I'll try to make it work because
No problem. We
it's a
can share
step.
the code. We don't worry about
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
Pallavi. We can share the code later on. So,
Okay.
so second question that I see is with reference to, in fact, from the experience, probably I keep on talking to so many testers. One of them was working for a large organization, and suddenly she came and she actually called me up and said, Adi, I've been working on Selenium Java, and now I've been put on a project which is basically using, say, for example, and in fact, it was Ruby to be precise. And then she said that I have to learn this Ruby in next 7 days. I'm very comfortable in Java, but the client says that there, as you rightly said, that the technology is dependent upon what the client may ask. Now,
Mhm.
at a juncture where somebody is so comfortable with one technology, are people being basically in the current technological world? Is there some need for people to go technology agnostic as well? How easy or hard would that be? Number one, or would it make sense to for people to learn other different languages as well?
That's a great question, Aditya. Uh, the answer to this question is unlike unlike the different communication languages out there, like for example, we are right now communicating using English. हम हिंदी में भी बात कर सकते थे या कर सकते हैं अगर considering everybody in the audience are comfortable with हिंदी. हम संस्कृत में भी बात कर सकते थे अगर सबको संस्कृत आती है. But programming में but between sorry switching back to English, but between programming and between these communication languages, Programming is much more easier. Don't get drowned by the syntaxes. Rise above it. That's why I said that if you know exception handling, if you know object-oriented programming concepts, you know the language, you know any language. Don't get drowned inside the syntaxes of it. That will come. That's not very difficult to understand and figure out and read. How do you declare a variable or you don't declare a variable with a data type is your language specific. But I would really love that people get enabled and empowered in all the languages are out there, because trust me, you already know them. Just get over the fear that we don't know Ruby. Oh, you know Ruby. It will take you less than a day to pick Ruby if you are so comfortable with Java, if your concepts were right.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Pallavi, for answering it beautifully. Guys, any questions? Are you there? Vaishnavi, Shubham, anybody would like to ask any questions? Ganesh, are you there?
Yeah, actually, one question. It's again language specific. Recently, uh, compared to Java, even Selenium with Python is also picking up. So, what's your opinion on like switching on to it? I'm actually in the midway of like both the things. I can say that way. Like I'm in the middle level of Selenium with Java going on, and I got a choice right now. Though I cannot switch directly, but then. So thinking to switch on to Python. So what is like, do you have an opinion on that? Like, what do you say about it?
Um, I'll give you, before I answer this question, I would like to give you all a very, very small, brief anecdote about me. Um, I was basically a bio student. Uh, Computers is not my, was never my first love. It was always biology. And while I was doing my PhD, although I did not complete it, went there for a year only, but post graduation I've done in bioinformatics as a field. We came to know about these languages like Perl, like Python. The reason Python is popular is because it has the ability to handle this massive data out there. It has so many libraries for your data analytics, for your AI, for your web scraping, you name it, it has it because of its ability to handle strings. Java makes it complex. Python makes it easy. And that's why, because of this so much of, you know, movement in IT towards going towards analytics, big data in testing, massive data sets, predictions, Python became so popular. Take any, again, you getting a project with Selenium Python, do it. There is nothing in, if you know Java, it should be a cakewalk for you. That's how languages have to be seen. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, yes. Yeah, thanks for that.
Again, the
Actually,
idea is,
I mean, the
okay,
thing
sorry,
is,
yeah.
what I observed is also like in case of Selenium with Java, a lot of help is available. People prefer where the even if anyone is going with open source Play tool, anyone. In case of open source, the help, the community help, which is available with that particular language binding, people tend to prefer using that one. Uh, I am not sure, like as of now, I'm not evaluated that much for Python or even Ruby and other languages, how much help is available out there. But then still, that's why actually I thought of asking this question, that whether switching would be beneficial or not. Because I tried automating one of the login logout kind of flow in Python, and I found it very easy.
It is, it
Yeah, it
is.
is actually, it is easy. But then again, uh, right now it seems pretty easy. But then again, compared to Java, how I'm going to automate the other flows. Just not talking about this login and logout, but then handling the drop downs, dynamic tables, and all those things. How it would be or it would work out there. That's
Again,
yeah.
again, sorry to interrupt you. Again, that will not change. The logic where you handle dynamic tables in Java, your pseudocode is not changing. If you want to, let's go back. Okay, let's say area of a circle.
Mhm.
I want to calculate area of a circle. I write a program in Java, Ruby, C Sharp, Python, JavaScript. The logic is not gonna change. The pseudocode pi r square remains same. Similarly, the logic to handle your dynamic tables is not gonna change. How you read data from Excel doesn't change. Yes, your module is gonna change from Python to Java to Ruby. It's gonna change, but the architect level of your test code is not gonna change. Second thing, lot of immense community support. You have to go to the right group. That is your Selenium Google group, which is the oldest group available. And the reason Selenium became so popular is because of that group majorly. It has such a strong community support. You would be amazed. So the first thing when people want to learn Selenium is what I tell them, you have to be part of that community. You have to understand that you have to work through it. You will face issues, you have to ask questions because nobody's sitting on the other end to help you because you have not paid for it. Okay, it's a free tool. And the power of this tool is the community behind it. And pick any language, there are experts available, helpful experts available to help you with them. You just have to find the right set of people.
Thank you. Thanks.
True. And
And
thank you so much, Pallavi. And there is one more question Shubham has posted in the chat. Which websites we
Mhm.
should use to practice Selenium?
Selenium.dev is the only website you need to understand Selenium. The rest of everything is actually you are trying to go to the scenarios. If you face a list, if you see a drop down, if you see a frame, if you see an inner frame, if you see a frame inside a frame inside a frame, if there is a table, how would you handle it? How would you work with Excel sheets? How would you work with your page object models? There are a lot of people out there. One is Dave Hefner. He runs a website called as Elemental Selenium. Then there is a website called as internetheroku.app. It has got this amazing set of you know what should I say, HTML element examples and scenarios for you to automate and learn. And then um, follow these experts like Dave Hefner, like Simon, and they do a lot of work on there. Okay, and there is so much information available out there for you to take examples and help. And then you always have us at Agile Testing Alliance.
Yeah. Also, I think there are some mock exams available on CPSAT site, which has got a
Yeah.
great example. So if you are basically through learning something, unless and until you practice, you probably won't be able to master it. So there are at least 9 or 10 mock exams, practical mock exams, which I recommend that as a learning exercise, everybody should try to solve. In fact, we should try to basically solve it and post solutions to them as well. Tough papers, which is very important for everybody to see how basically you can use Selenium to solve. But interestingly, that would be great exercise for somebody to learn.
I agree. I agree. Our mock exams are pretty tough.
And the paper
And
as well.
once you solve them, the high you get is, it's like eureka. Okay, get it, got it.
Yeah. All right, guys. So it is 6 p.m. Any more questions? Anybody? Vaishnavi, Satish, Sai, Rahul, Pooja, Vemulapalli, Nitish.
Yeah, yeah, I have one question. This
Yeah.
is Sai Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hi,
actually, I'm
Sai.
trying to upgrade. Yeah, hi Pallavi. Actually, I'm trying to upgrade myself, like technology wise. So it's better to go with Selenium with Python or Selenium with the JavaScript, which is having a scope in the future. Any thoughts or any information?
When you would want to ask this question, what I always do is, you see there is a graph available out there. Okay, so there is this language popularity graph which organizations primarily publish. Java and Python are almost now neck to neck. C Sharp, Ruby, JavaScript have not picked up that pace. But the answer to this question is actually also moving towards JavaScript. There are so many test automation tools which are now available out there in market. If you shift your focus from Selenium to that set of world, they're all JavaScript based. So whether you pick Python or you pick Java, I would really suggest you to also look at JavaScript, because why not increase our, area of expertise? Why we get just stuck with Selenium? There is a whole world out there of humongous tools which work on the same conceptual information, except that the language they're using is JavaScript. So consider from that aspect as well.
Pallavi, we have one more question. Somebody is asking, and I can answer that, but I want you to also first take a shot at that. How would the certification CPSAT will be helpful?
If you already know Selenium and you want to validate your knowledge, you want to certify that, yes, I know Selenium, I am an expert at it, I can solve this set of level of questions. That's where the CPSAT comes into picture. It's like I'm forgetting the word. It's like क्या कहते हैं उसे मतलब एक वो है, एक पैमाना है कि आपने अपने आप को you have crossed that threshold. It's a benchmark. Thank you. Thank you. It's a benchmark. If you don't know, you want to know. We are all extremely, we are a group of extreme Selenium loving people who really enjoy sharing information and knowledge. Be a part of us.
Yeah, and I can say that from my experience, why it might be helpful is that these days, many organizations that I am aware of, they're actually taking people in their projects just to make sure that if they have cleared CPSAT means, see what has happened is that if you look at the industry today, out of basically X numbers of testers, if you look at the resume, everybody today says that they know Selenium.
True.
So now when you basically go out and interview, obviously the interview would be there. They would ask you to solve the problems. One is that you want to make sure that you can actually be successfully clearing those interviews. Second is the people who are taking your interviews also look at your certificate. If that CPSAT is there, I think it might be another reason for you to get shortlisted. At least in few organizations, that is the benchmark there.
And one of the major reasons for it is the practical assessment associated, which this is the only exam which does it, because you cannot just know Selenium by talking about it. You have to sit and do it. So we test you on that.
Sure. Thank you. And any other question, guys? It is 6:05, and I think very wonderfully explained. Yeah. So there is one more say, which are the platform from which we can learn Selenium? I think that was answered. Yeah, because I think that is
Yeah.
more like a website. And yeah, if, everybody's saying thank you, Pallavi, and I think it's time. So
Sure.
from all of us, guys, if we can just thank, can you just unmute yourself, and if you can applaud, I would really appreciate your.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank you
so
all.
much,
Have been
Pallavi.
great
We'll
audience. Awesome questions. Thanks, Aditya. Thank you,
And
everyone, guys.
if you have those code, Pallavi, if you can
I
share
will.
that, I'll probably post it in the Telegram group. So guys, if you
I
have
would.
not joined the Telegram group, please join that. We will try to. And Pallavi, you are part of the Telegram group as well.
Yeah, I think I am.
So guys, feel free to ask questions, and I think I am there. If there is something that we can help you out solving your issues, we'll try to do that. And I would request all our community members to also help solve issues if somebody is facing some issues while you are automating. Okay, with that and with that note, Pallavi, thank you so much once again for spending that time and going through all the technologies. Wonderful. I am very inspired, and I'm sure that I would be picking up one or few more languages other than Java now. Okay. With that, guys,
Great
thank you so
to hear
much,
that.
and we'll sign off now. Is that okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Sure.
Adi. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a good
Bye.
weekend.